Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Now, you know what it's like. I've been sitting here for 10 minutes ready to go. And then suddenly I got fluff in my eyes, just as Daniel said, come on, we're going now then. I've got it from my gorgeous Norman. Isn't he beautiful? I love him. Anyway. Two of my favourite ladies with me today. Have a look.
He says that every week, Joe. Don't be too flattered. Whoever's in this room with him is his favourite ladies. You get used to it. Yeah. We're having the John charm.
So what are you doing today then? Joe, what are you doing for me today? As if I didn't know.
Norman?
Gorgeous Norman. Sarah, what have you got coming up in your... well, you're coming back on at 10 o'clock, aren't you, with me? So
yes,
what
well,
are we doing today?
You've got your fabrics on at 10 o'clock, so I'm just going to sit and sew over here in the corner. Whatever you're doing, I'll do it.
Perfect.
And then at 11 o'clock, I'm going to make this wonderful carry-all for you. It's from my... we've got the fabrics with it. From my So Lovely collection. You either do the carry-all or the lovely sewing machine cover that you've got. So I'm going to do the carry-all this morning. We've got some lovely crochet kits on. We're going to be doing some more English paper pieces because you loved it so much last week. John asked for the apple core. We brought the apple core. So yeah, I've got loads of demos planned. And
that's fantastic, isn't it? And I've got gorgeous Macawa linear fabric. Now, you know how much I love it. Now, we've done it in bundles for you where you get a discount, and you've also got it by the half metre. Beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous colours. But we need to start. So let's do my sunrise special. I know, look at gorgeous Norman. Right, sunrise special, here we go. These are your erasable fabric markers. Now, this is one pack, right? If you buy... Right, what you've got to do is if you buy 3 packs, right? You buy 3 packs, you only pay for 2. Now, what I need you to do is you need to put 3 in your basket. It will show up that you're buying 3 for $5.99 each. But then when you come to check out, it will take one of them off. So today's sunrise special, you'll get 9 pens and you pay only for 2. So you'll pay your £12 or your, what's that, $16 for 2, but you will actually get 3 of them. And the reason we've done it is because when they go out of stock, which they do almost immediately, it takes forever to get them back in, and we don't know why. We've got them on constant reorder. Now, these are the ones that you mark on your fabric, and then to get rid of it, you iron it, and it disappears. Now, what I would say, if you're going to use it for a quilt top, then please test your fabric first, because sometimes on a black fabric, it sometimes leaves like a white ghosting mark. Not every fabric, but please check before you do it on a main. It's fine if you're just marking out pattern pieces or something like that, because you're going to cut through them. But if you are marking for the top of a quilting, please be careful. So remember, put 3 in your basket and you'll only be charged for 2. You can just buy, if you're just thinking, oh, I only want one, then you'll pay $5.99 for this. If you put 1 in your basket, you'll pay $5.99. If you put 2 in your basket, you'll pay your £12. If you put 3 in your basket, you'll still pay your £12. You get the 3rd one for free. I know. So that is today's sunrise special. I know, isn't it fantastic? What do you want to do next? Oh, you want to look at these again? Look at these. Oh, 4 gorgeous bundles. Now, I'll bring them close to me here. So now, this one here. Now, there was a bit of an issue. This one should be a rainbow, right? It's sort of half a rainbow. It's gorgeous, though. Look at those lovely colours. So you get all 4 of those, right? Look, discount. Discount if you buy all of them, right? Oh, no? Fantastic. So that's rainbow. Then, which one? Ocean. Miss. Do you remember when on Miss World there used to be a Miss Oceana, didn't there? Miss Oceana. Do you not remember? Okay. Look at those beautiful colours again. Now, if you buy them as the bundle, you do get your discount. You do get money off. 15% off. They're only £20 or $26.50. Oh no, gorgeous. That's Ocean. Sunrise, sunset. Sunrise. Oh, I love that bundle. Look at those gorgeous colours again. You're getting your 15% off if you buy a bundle. Your bundle is half metre of that, half metre of that, half metre of that, and half metre of that. Now, is there any way, if you don't know what linear is, can we go in closer, Daniel? Because I love the pattern on a linear. Can you see? It's very subtle. Let me see if you can see. Oh, actually, do you know what? When we come to the next bundle, I'll get Daniel to do a close-up of the vanilla, the cream, because that's got a darker one. Now, we call this one Essentials. Essentials, this one, because you've got your cream, you've got your vanilla, and you've got your indigo, and you've got your grey. Again, you get 15% off. Now, I wonder if you can see. Look, there you go. You see the pattern it's got in it. All of them have got that pattern on. Now, oh, you're coming in closer, are you? Ooh, why not? Let's have a quick look. Look, oh, there you go. There you go. You see that fantastic pattern? That is on all of them. Oh, you can see them all there. So every single colour that I've shown you. So you can buy them by the half metre if you want to. They're £5.99 for half a metre. £5.99 for half a metre. But if you buy the bundle, half a metre. But you might want 4 metres for a quilt back or something like that. Or you think, oh, that looks lovely as a border on the quilt I'm doing now. Right, okay. There's, oh, do you know what? we'll show you those again in the next hour, because while I'm showing those in the next hour, Sarah's going to be doing a double wedding band. And I've got the most gorgeous, I love the fabric. If you saw the handbag demo last week, the fabric coming up, the tapestries, that last time we had them in, they all sold out. They completely sold out, apart from a couple of meters of mandala. But I've got, oh, they're fantastic. Right, so have I done everything? Yes. Now, those of you who know, did you get the pictures of my Norman, by the way? Oh, all right. Oh, you got them, got them, right. My Norman, right? My Norman and Nellie, my gorgeous 2 cats, who sadly passed away last year, 19 and a half they were. They were brother and sister. And everybody knew Norman. Everybody knew the stories. And Nellie. Nellie was very, very independent and just lived her own lifestyle. Would come in when she wanted some food or wanted a little bit of loving or something like that. But Norman was like my best mate. And when Joe sent me the pictures, I'm getting upset now thinking about it. When Joe sent me Joe was worried, right? Because first of all, cats are... cat soft toys are really, really difficult ones to do, right? And she knew how much Norman meant to me and meant to all of my followers and everything, because everybody knows all about Norman and everything. I burst into tears. She sent me the picture, I burst into tears. She thought it was awful, and I thought, it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. So let me explain. Now, I also need to tell you something. Last night, we put this on the website, like we always do. We load up the show the night before. I put it on my Facebook and my Instagram. Quarter of the stock is gone. A quarter of the stock has gone already. So please, that was before we'd even come to the show. That was just people who happened to come across it on my Facebook page last night. So please, please, please be careful. He's gorgeous. He's so, when you touch him, right, he's just like Norman was. I mean, if you see the pictures on my Facebook page, that is, I don't know how they've done a fur that was so like him. Right, okay, let me show you what you get. First of all, it comes in, it comes like this. Now, it will be sent, now, it's what they dispatch it, Friday. It's 10th, it will be sent out to you on the 10th, right? So inside the packet, I'll go through that in a second, right? So inside the box here. Now, those of you who haven't bought from Joe before, you get a free badge, a free pin badge, look. That just comes with it. That just comes with it, right? So in your packet, you will get your eyes. Now, they're not your normal animal eyes. These are, because the Burmese have got bright green eyes. Joe's actually sourced some green, beautiful green eyes. You get your embroidery thread when you do the face. Now, we've got you get all your fabrics cut ready for you. That's your nose. That's your cheeks. That's your ears and another bit of the nose. Then this here is the feet, and I think that might be nose as well. And then this, look at this. Now, your workroom will be fluffed. It will be fluffed. I'm warning you now. So make sure you give your machine a good clean out afterwards. Right, but I just want to show you the instructions. If you've never bought a Joe Carter before, the instructions are incredible. Look. How thorough are these instructions? Look. And then there's all your pattern pieces, all your templates that you need to make it. So you can make as many Normans as you want. Look. Now, please, 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 if there are any notches, you must put them in. They're there for a reason. Also, the arrows are your grain of fabric, right? So you get everything you need in there. Look, and they're all 2 size. So you don't need to do any of that multiplying by 200 or dividing by whatever. All of that comes in your £32 and 50 pence or your $42. I know. All right. Now, before we go on to Joe, we've got some other things that you might need. The needles, first of all, which you need at the end for when you do the face sculpturing and putting the eyes in. There you go. Oh, sorry, do you want to do it from a still? I just pulled this 149 or 195. Righty-ho. Then I've also got the pen. Oh, excuse me, my throat's hot. When Joe starts talking, I'll have a drink of water. There's your pen, £4.29. That's your fabric marker, your erasable fabric marker, which is different to the first one. You don't want to be using the first ones for this. Now, we've got some stuffing. Now, you might already have toy stuffing. The toy stuffing we've got available today. Now, you will... Oh, my word, look how many messages have come in already. This is one for Hooked, right? You'll need about 3 of these, I imagine. But I know on our website, sometimes we do have the toy stuffing. So, or you may already have some. You may already have some. But this is just in case you haven't got any. So they are the 3 things that Joe might be using. Right, okay, so here's the Norman. I'm just going to sit here cuddling him while Joe shows us how to do it. Now, Joe, we're saying that if you've made a Joe Carter soft toy before, you should be all right with this, shouldn't you? You should.
Very much follows ways of doing things, and it very much falls into that category.
Okay, so now, for those of you who don't know Joe, right? Joe is a world famous, well, I say that. I've made her world famous. She's the most, she started off, I'm telling you a life story now, tell me if I'm wrong, right? She started off manufacturing toys for a big toy company, and then came to Sewing Quarter. I have to tell a very funny story, right? Before Sewing Quarter started, right, they did these 6 evening shows on Jewellery Maker on the sister channel, and they're about 11 o'clock at night, and I was watching with Hayley, who was then our production manager, and we would text each other, and Joe came on. She looked so nervous. She looked so terrified. We were like, oh, and then right at the end of it, she's making a tote bag. Right at the end of it, she did this lovely smile and went, oh, we love her. We love her. And then she came on Sewing Quarter and we just had the best time. She is a toy designer extraordinaire. People clamour to buy her toys. People clamour to get her patterns. And everybody, when you get to know Jo better, you will see every single one of her animals has a character. It has the most incredible character. I mean, there's just, we've got Mortimer on our website as well. But there are so many, there's a beautiful pug as well. But I mean, this is has to be my favourite. So, Jo, you haven't got long. What are you going to start making?
I'll start with the face.
Yep.
Because cats have really fine features, they are quite small, but there are ways of handling them to make it easier and more manageable. And to offset the fiddliness in the face, I've made the body, the paws a little bit easier and things.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the face is formed, it has a central panel here for the nose and then 2 sort of cheek areas either side, and then that's set into the wider face.
Okay, so hang on, the bit you're doing then, if I could just show you on mine, is it this bit here that you just said you were doing there?
Yes, I'll start with the central panel. The nose is cotton, just so it's a slightly different texture.
Okay, brilliant, yeah, yeah.
And then he's got a little darker fur patch above his nose, and then this section here, and then there's a little section at the top of the fur. Brilliant.
Okay, lovely. He's staying here. Right, Jo, there's so many messages coming in. People saying, oh, Laurie has said, oh, I've got mine, Gerardine. Hi, Jo and John, lovely to see you together. Norman is just gorgeous. Daphne saying, great to see you back on TV, Jo. Elizabeth says, you must have been very touched when you first found out about Norman. How sweet of Jo Carter. They call you now Jo Carter 2L's Designs. That's they all call you that. So many messages. Oh, you're looking very tanned. That could be my makeup, I'm afraid. Oh, Sarah and Jo are John's angels. Looking forward to today's show, says June. And there was another one there as well. Seattle, Stacey's watching in Seattle. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And Marcy is watching as well. All our regulars coming in. Thank you so much indeed. Right, sorry, Jo, I'll let you carry on now.
Okay, so these pieces are quite small. And a way of making that a bit easier is I've just tacked them on first. Don't know if you can see.
Hand tack them on. Yes, yeah.
I've used white thread so it stands up. So just hand tack them on before sewing on the machine, just so they don't slip about and we keep them in a nice straight line.
Perfect.
So I'll go over these now.
Because you don't normally, when you're making a soft toy, sometimes you machine tack a seam, don't you? But very seldom do you hand tacking. Is that just so the pieces don't slip because they're so tiny?
It is. They are quite small. I should say as well before I start sewing, really, when marking the templates out, mark the largest ones out first,
right? Just
to make sure they're all going to fit. The tail is not. You just cut a rectangle out for the tail at this point.
Oh, okay, perfect.
And And then I'll get to that bit later,
Righty-ho.
just because the tail's
So
quite thin.
you've just sewn the brown fur, is it? Or I can't see from here. Is it the nose of the bit of the nose? Is that the fur?
Yeah, I've just sewn the nose piece to the piece above, and then I'll just go over this section here that I've also tacked.
Brilliant. And
that'll make that central panel.
Now, what needle are you using?
I use a ballpoint needle.
Okay.
About a 12.
Right.
Or
and what size stitch are you using?
I tend to go for 2mm because you want them quite close together.
Yeah.
So that the seams are sturdy, because you need to be quite forceful stuffing later on.
Yeah, of course.
So you don't want them to sort of weaken in any way. And then I'll stitch the top bit on, and that's that central panel of the face then done.
Okay, perfect. And the order in which you're doing this is the order in which it's in the instructions, isn't it? You advise this is the way to do it. Don't be thinking, oh, I know how to do a soft toy and just run it together. Do follow the instructions.
In fact, these instructions will have made one of these.
Oh, okay. Perfect. And is the fabric slippy?
It's not too slippy. It takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
But once you get to grips with it, actually, I think because it's got a little bit of stretch, you can, it's more flexible. You can, if something's not going to reach, just give it a little,
what about a walking
place.
foot? You've not got a walking foot on that machine, but did you have a walking foot on yours at home?
The only time I used a walking foot was when I was doing the tail, but you don't have to have a walking foot.
Joe and I have got the same sewing machine, you see. Except I've got the more modern version. I've got the red one, she's got the blue one. Right, okay, so you've done the front panel. What do you do next?
So that's that central bit done.
Yeah.
And now I'll do this section first. So the eye patch, the snout, and then the chin.
Okay, lovely. Oh, yeah, this
now,
bit.
On the templates, because these shapes are not necessarily how you'd expect them to be, just so that we get them the right way up, there are triple notches here on the eye patch. So the triple notches on the bottom. And they match to the triple notch side on the snout.
I'm going to have to move normally if you want me to be further back. There and there.
And that's just to ensure that they go on the right way and you're joining the right side of the face pieces all together and not got
Fantastic.
a left one in there.
That, which is why I was saying earlier, when you do mark them out, make sure the notches are there for a reason.
Okay, so I've sewn that bit on.
Oh my word, they're absolutely... I hate it when you're watching a shopping telly and they've literally been on air. There's one presenter who's really bad for it. And he says... and he goes like, 70% of the stock's gone. You're like, you haven't even told us what it is yet. But a third of the stock has gone completely. Third of the stock have gone already. I know. Not surprised. Don't wait around. Please do not wait around, because we don't know. We don't know if Jo... We've just asked Jo if she can make some more, and she's going to go, I'll have to find out if I can get some fabric. And also, have you noticed the eyes, right? I did mention it. Burmese are renowned for their green eyes. So Jo has sourced green eyes. So she doesn't just go to a cupboard and take out hundreds of her normal black eyes. She's had to source these specially for the kit. Oh. Right, so what's she doing there, sorry?
Okay, so I've joined that piece together. There's a triple notch on this seam and a double notch just to make sure we get those together in the right way.
Brilliant.
And then they fit into a side face piece. And on the side, the outer face, there's a pivot point which corresponds with this corner here.
Right.
It's not much of a corner, but it does help sometimes. It keeps you on track. So it's not a big pivot.
Right.
But it helps to know where you are in the seam.
Actually, all of the parts have all got, I'm just reading them now, they all say what parts of the Norman they are, what fabric they're made out of, how many you have to cut with the notches. And then others have actually got, I won't see that at home, but others have got actual notes written on them. Can you see there? Actually on the pattern pieces. So it's very, very thorough.
The benefit of doing demonstrations like this is that I get lots of feedback on what would make a pattern easier as well. So I've tried to incorporate that as much as possible.
Oh, dog and cat mum said, I'm sorry to hear about your cat. I've just lost my beloved cat Tiny. He was 20 years old. Oh, that's so sad. Vanessa says, morning, John. Love to see you all again. Watching on my TV today. I finally got it sorted. It's great to see Joe. I love the cat, says Georgina. Kim says, I love Joe. Oh, got to get a Nelly now. Oh, dear, poor old Joe. Oh, just bought mine, thank you. Oh, just bought my very first Joe Carter pattern. That's brilliant. Janet says, loving the show. Great to see Joe Carter. Could you sew this by hand, says Nikki Rogers.
You could. It would take, obviously, it'd take a little bit longer. Things to bear in mind if you're sewing by hand is just nice small stitches, just to keep the
And would you
seams.
do a back stitch? Or would you do a running stitch?
Either, I think. You could do a running stitch, providing it was small enough.
Oh, I'm not the designer. With
Would
my
you do
hand
back
sewing,
stitch?
I do a back stitch, so you're going forwards and back, then forward. So you're kind of almost reinforcing it as you're going along. Got loads of messages. Bernie says, great to see you all. Lots of love, says Bernie. Tammy says, hello from San Diego. Oh, I love San Diego. I go there every year. I'll have to catch this later, as I'll probably fall asleep. Oh, thanks, Tammy. And Cheryl says, good morning all, John, Joe and the team. It's so lovely to see you two back together. Norman is simply gorgeous, says Cheryl. Isn't he just? He feels like having the real Norman sitting here. It's so strange. Because when we were at home, this is how we'd sit. I'd sit at my desk and Norman would come and sit, whatever I was doing. Norman would just come and sit like that. Oh, look, look, look. There he is. That was when he was quite old and quite frail at the end there. But have you got another one of him, a gorgeous one of him, sitting just looking? We'll have a look. We'll have a look later. Anyway, sorry, Joe. Carry on.
Okay, so I've put this piece in to the outer face now.
Yeah.
And then these join up to the centre. Don't know if that.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, there's a little section here where
Hang
the
on,
snout...
where are we looking? Where are we looking, Joe?
This section here, where the snout joins to
Yeah.
itself, you know, just below the nose.
Yeah.
So when we sew the nose piece on, there's a little notch and it's marked on the pattern, point A.
Yeah.
Just make sure we're sewing from point A up and not from the seam
Right.
below. It's just a tiny 5 mil or so that's free in between the two.
What's a gap then? So
It is, it's a
you're
gap.
leaving a gap. Okay.
And again, you could hand tack this first.
Yeah.
Or you could sew it with a long stitch length to test it, test the positioning, and then go over it with a shorter one if you're happy. But sew up to the edge of the nose, pause with the needle down, and then just readjust. And there's a notch that lines up with that seam. And actually, it's small and it's fiddly, but it does help to keep the seam on track because there are things that are going to line up all the way through.
Now, do you never use pins?
I rarely use pins, only, well, because I catch my fingers on them, I'm a bit clumsy, so
Yeah.
I tend to hurt myself. If you use pins, have a set number in the pin cushion and count them at the end to make
Yes.
sure none have been left behind.
Oh, yes, because, you know, a lot of my ladies are making my therapy dolls for Francesca. I got a panicked email the other day going, I think I've left a pin in the back of one of the dolls. Please check before it gets sent to the children. Anyway, I checked, there was no pin there, but it's always wise to check. Count them in and count them out. Like a surgeon counting in and out the swabs and the forceps and things like that. Yeah, lovely. A Tuesday morning. Right, where are we going to next then?
So stitch that side on
Yeah.
and then do the same with the other one.
Uh-huh.
When I'm sewing the other side on, I start from the top and finish at the bottom of the nose, just so I can finish right at the stitches, because ending on the stitches is much easier than trying to start and position your foot so you start on them. You don't really want to over sew there because it'll create a little bit of a tuck in the nose.
You don't want that.
So I've got...
But there's something strange going on with the nose, though, isn't there? No, not strange, that's the wrong word, but something unusual going on with the nose, because there's a little ridge there. If you don't know, you can see that at home.
To give it the little cat shape, there's hand sewing, there's hand finishing on the nose at the end.
Oh, at the end. Okay, then.
Bring
Perfect.
it together.
Okay, so...
This is one, give it a little shake, that I've stitched together already, both sides. And then I'm just going to bring the bottom of the face together to close that there.
Now, it looks like the mixture of a lion Or a, what else does it look like? It looked like something else. Koala bear. It looked a bit like a koala bear then, didn't it? I suppose that's when you're designing things like this, you have to be careful, don't you? Because it could so easily look generic, really, couldn't it?
It could, and cats are really difficult. They're one of the toys that, when you're designing them, it's so easy to end up with a lion at the end of it. And
also, you weren't just doing a cat, because a lot of the time you're doing a pug, a monkey, and you're not taking it from an actual being, are you?
Yeah.
So what seam allowance have you used, sorry, through all of this?
1/4 inch or 6mm.
Brilliant.
It's small, but it has to be. Otherwise you have too much bulk in the seam. So stitch that together there.
Oh, look. It's weird without the eyes, isn't it?
It is. I'll pop the eyes in now. The thing to remember with these eyes is they have to go on straight and sort of even with one another, because they can go on wonky.
Oops. Yeah, because normally you're just putting in a black circle, aren't you? Normally you haven't got the actual eye detailing in them.
Yep, which does add a little...
How many did you get in a packet?
You get 2 pairs.
Oh, okay, so brilliant. Now, we always say about these eyes, if you're giving this Norman to a child under 3, that the eye, we don't really suggest that you put these eyes in for a child under 3. But these are kind of toys that, I don't know, they're kind of to look at, aren't they? Or just to cuddle. They're not for, I mean, you can give them to your kids if you want to, but we just suggest not using the eyes for under 3-year-olds. Okay, so what are you doing?
I'm making a really small hole where marked. So when you mark out the pattern pieces, remember to put the eye position on. So I've made a tiny hole for the eye, and I'm just going to push the back through. And then look at it from the front. And you want it pretty much, there can be sort of tweaks a little bit to line them up later, but you want it fairly straight from this point, and then I'll pop the back on.
Have you put anything behind it to stabilise it?
I've not, only because this fabric's quite thick.
Okay, perfect.
If it was a cotton fabric, I'd put like a square of felt or batting behind it. So before I push it down all the way, I'm just going to check it's looking forward.
Oh, so once you put the back on, you can't twizzle it round?
You can, but it's more difficult.
Right, okay.
You could alter it a tiny amount when the back's on. I'll put the other one on. As soon as you put the eyes in, it sort of comes to life a bit.
Yeah. Oh. So there's no, we've only put the front of the face. There's no back of the head on yet or anything?
No, not just yet.
Okay.
The back of the head, I mean, I'll get to that in a minute, but it's the way I always put.
Yeah. But just because we've got a few people who bought for the first time. Oh, I've got my Norman. Is there enough fabric to make a Nelly, Joe? No, you've got enough fabric to make a Norman. The thing is, a Nelly would be slightly different because Nelly was chocolate and Norman was lilac, you see. So she had more dark patches on her. We'll have to do a Nelly next. We can tell you love the Norman because you're going to wear him out with all those cuddles. The web shop is mega busy. I'm going to phone my order in. Oh, thank you, Alison, for letting us know that. Hello, John. Here are some... oh, okay. I'll have a look at you. Janet, I've got no pictures. Maybe there were pictures with that one. I'll get them up later on for you, yeah? It goes to show how confident Jo is in her own ability, confident enough to make you another best mate. That in itself speaks volumes. Oh, Elizabeth, thank you. That's lovely. When I make mine, I'm going to put one green eye and one blue eye, as my Tiny had odd eyes. Oh, that's really sweet. My Norman had beautiful, beautiful green eyes. Morning, Jo. Lovely to see you back. Hope your foot is better. Watching from a very hot France, says Jackie. Yeah, because last time Jo was on my very first show here, and literally days before she came up, she broke her foot, didn't you?
I did. But
it's better now. Okay, right, before I go back to carry on with sewing, somebody wants to see what else comes in the box, so I'll just go through that. There. So in the box, you get this instructions manual, which is so thorough, I can't tell you. There's photos of every single stage. I'll hold it here so you can see all the pictures in there and everything, because look, they are so thorough. Words as well, not just pictures. Everything you need to know. It's very. Also, if you have any issues, you can message Jo on Facebook. It's Jo Two Owls. Are you on Facebook? It's Jo Two Owls.
Yes.
Yeah. And she'll tell you if you get stuck on anything. So you get that in the box. You get the box, and then you get your little badge, which is gorgeous. You get your 2 sets of green eyes. You get your embroidery thread, which we'll come to later. You get your pale cream, it's not pale, but gorgeous cream fabric. You get a little brown cotton square. You get your brown, what is this fabric? What's it called? Is it Shannon?
It's Shannon Cuddle.
Shannon Cuddle, the fabric's called. Then you've got your gingery colour. And then is this a Shannon as well?
Yes, that's called Hide.
Hide?
Hide.
Oh, like a cow?
Well, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Only because Jo's made different animals out of different ones. One, what was it? It was made out of like roses.
The Cuddle Rose, that was, Godfrey was a Cuddle Rose.
Oh, Godfrey, that's right, Godfrey the Cuddle Rose. So you get all of that in your box, it'll be shipped out on... Oh, now, before I take you back to Jo, if you buy anything else in the same order, the other things won't be dispatched till Friday either. So say you've bought this and you've bought the something else, and you check out together, right? The whole order. But you can check this out on its own right now because it's over £20. You get free P&P on it. So what I would do is I'd buy this, check it out. Then if you buy anything else, put those on a separate checkout, and then you'll get, unless of course you're using your John 20, which I'll tell you more about in a minute. Right, back to the demo. What are we doing next then?
Okay, the ears are fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
It's a paler front and the darker back.
Right.
Put 2 mirror image ones together, right sides together, and sew around the sides.
Now, are they the same size? Because sometimes you do an ear with one side bigger than the other, don't you? These are the same size?
Same size, front and back, same piece.
Right, okay, perfect.
Okay, and then you just want to clip the seam allowance at the top, just to remove some of the bulk so you can get a better point on the top of the ear. Turn it the right way out. And then before we fold it, just baste along the bottom just to hold the edges level.
Right.
It just makes it easier to handle. And trim it so it's a nice straight line, trim away the dog ears.
Have you already basted that one then? I can't see from here.
Yeah, I've already basted this one.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And then where there's a slight point, at that point, fold it over and then baste again to hold that fold in position.
Oh.
Do that quickly.
What was the first toy you ever designed? What animal did you design first?
Because the company I work for, they trained me up, I made a cat. It was a cat actually, but quite a stylised one. I put the head together in quite an unusual
okay,
way.
we won't go there. Also, I asked Jo to do a John Scott doll, right? Years back, and she went, "You don't have any distinguishable features."
No, that was not quite what I said.
Well, how did you put it then?
Well, I'm not a very, you need a feature that's obvious, so an extravagant hairstyle makes it easier, or...
So we should have done it during lockdown. I have got a hair appointment for Saturday, everybody. Help us forward Saturday. I know. Bernie promised to bring... Bernie's mum, Anne-Marie, she made me a headband, right? Bernie forgot to bring it with her this morning because Bernie's popped in this morning. I know. Sorry, what'd you say to me, Laura? Did you want to say something to me? I was busy wittering away. No? No, okay, she wasn't saying anything. Carry on, regardless. Okay. Right, okay, so the ears, you've made both the ears.
I've made both the ears.
Yeah.
You want front of the ears against the right side of the face and just baste them in position.
Oh, I've just seen a picture of that in the instructions.
So baste them on either side.
Yeah.
I'll do
now,
one.
Now, you machine based on, don't you?
I machine based on with just inside the seam allowance, so I don't have to remove the stitches later on. Perfect. And also, it makes them, it's an added bit of security to hold them so you can't get pulled out of place. There we go. So do that with the other one as well.
Right.
And then I'll do the back of head. I like to sew the head to the body. So when I join the back head pieces, I only join them for a small section along the back. I don't close the full back together.
Right.
So I'll put them on top of each other here. This is where actually a couple of pins can be handy because it's so fluffy you can't see the raw edge of the fabric always. You can just brush the fur to one side as you sew with your finger just to see.
Is this the seam you're doing here then, right down the centre back? Is that the seam you're doing at the moment?
Yes, but I'm only doing
but
about
only halfway?
6 centimetres or so of it, I think.
Okay. Oh. You're going too fast, the machine beeping at you.
I keep pressing the wrong button because it's in an opposite position. So there we go. Those are just partially joined.
Uh-huh.
And then this seam, I line up with the centre notch at the top of the head. I mark the notches on with pen rather than cut the fabric. But I also say that in the pattern at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So
it always worries me when I've seen lots of people when they mark notches, they snip into it, don't they? I've never done that because I'm always terrified that it's almost weakening the fabric, aren't you?
Yeah. So start from the top point and sew one side at a time together. Oh, I'm actually sewing the side that doesn't have an ear in here. That's not the...
Oh, you can have a one-eared Norman.
So I'll stop that, but I'll sew the other side. But I've got a ready-made head.
Oh, good.
So if you do once lining up in the centre and sewing out one side at a time, it's just easier, but also helps to make sure you get a nice even finish, joining the back of the head to the front. Take it quite slowly over the ear because it's quite a few layers, especially through the fold.
Uh-huh. You're going through lots of layers, but it doesn't feel that bulky. You just have to watch it, I suppose. And there's no padding or anything in the ears, it's just the fabric itself.
Yeah, there's nothing else to go through.
Wadding, I mean.
So do one side and then do the other.
And voila, this is what you get.
Ta-da! A head. So you pop that to one side and then start on the body. Okay,
now you say you made the body simpler, yeah?
Well, as much as possible.
Okay. But the legs are attached. Well, I'll let you explain. The legs are attached already, aren't they? They're not...
They are.
Yeah.
With the stomach piece, I'll show one that's not already been joined.
Yeah.
The inside legs, so this section of the front leg and then this section here of the back leg, we join those onto the stomach first.
So is that this bit here that I was just showing here?
Yes, that template piece, it comes in two parts because it won't fit on one page.
Oh, so it's that and that, is it?
So the complete piece for the side body looks like this.
Oh, okay, got it.
And it's helpful to transfer. There are pivot points around.
Yeah.
In between the legs.
Yeah, brilliant. And they're all on the pattern, aren't they? You have to transfer
they are. They're marked
across,
on a pattern.
I did your pivot points on another project I did at home just recently. And I remember thinking, oh, Joe would be very pleased. Because the thing is, apart from the pivot point showing you where you're aiming for, it's easy. Also, if you do it by eye, sometimes when you go round a V or something like that, you don't go far enough up because it's quite deceptive how far your quarter inch up is, isn't it, sometimes? If you're stitching around, everyone's nodding, yeah. When you're stitching around like that, you think, oh, I'm just a bit... Not you. I know you're not, Laura. Laura's going, yes, John, yes, that's right. I must say, Laura's covered a chair this week. We'll talk about that more later. Have we got pictures of it? Anyway, so it's really important to put your pivot points on, that's what I'm saying. Right, so what have you got on the table there now?
Right, this is the stomach.
Yeah.
And this... I do them in a V shape just because it's easier and you can pivot at the end. And we want to sew a leg. This is the wrong side. Sew a leg which also has that matching V.
Okay, just hold that there a second so we can just see that. That's it, brilliant. Oh.
Is that okay?
Yeah. No, other way. That's it.
So we want to sew, there we go, that's a done one. I've stitched it in black just so it's a little bit easier to see.
Brilliant.
So stitch those round and pivot at that point.
Okay.
And then the inside leg looks like this.
Right.
We want to sew those round as well. But to make it easier, if it's hard to follow, I've labelled them. So you put the leg, this point is B, and you can match that up with the stomach, BC, and then D and E.
Oh, is that why these have got writing on them? These ones up here, the side body, the inner back leg. Oh, yeah, there they all are there.
I've just put some colour-coded letters, just so you can refer back to the pattern. Just to make sure.
Yes. Look up here then. Look up here. You see, that's what Joe means. He's got a purple dot there, and there's a greeny, limey dot there, and another darker green dot. So you can match the dots up with the each pattern piece. Well, that's a clever idea. Okay.
So once all these have been stitched on, so we've got both inside front legs and then both inside back legs, and it looks like that from the other side.
Right.
I'm just going to close this dart at the top.
Right. Now, is this fur? Sometimes when you stitch fur, it goes into the seam, doesn't it? Do you need to get your toothbrush out and brush it, or is it quite?
At the end, you can brush the seams, and, and then they all sort of disappear as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With the dart, I've just got to the end of the dart there and just taper in the edge into the fold. So that's the stomach piece ready to join to a side body.
Right.
And to make it a little bit easier, I've marked out, these are also colour-coded with letters.
Right.
Because this part of the top, the side body...
Other way.
Oh,
that's
there
it.
we go. Joins to the top of the stomach.
This is the problem when I'm not sitting next to you, isn't it? So normally I'd just be grabbing your arm and going over here, but it's a bit difficult. Joe, for those who don't know, I'm on this side of the studio. Joe's right the way. That's why we keep not looking at the camera and going like that, because Joe's just over there. So I know it's a bit off-putting for you at home, but I'm in Joe's eye line here, so that's what's a bit weird. Okay, so just shows that bit again. Sorry, Joe.
So we're... Oh, that way.
No, there you go.
We want to sew this top section of the stomach.
Yeah.
And the front of the leg.
Yeah.
We're joining that to the side body.
Did you do it all in one go?
All in one go.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Now you do have to be a little bit careful. This might be a good bit to put to pin actually, because the side body leg is on the bias, so it's a little bit stretchy.
Oh, okay. Now, does this fabric? I thought this would be stretchy all over, so it's an even more stretchy on the bias.
It is just that little bit. I'll do this quickly. I'm just going to brush so I can see the raw edges. And actually, if you do it with a bright pen, it makes it a little, when you mark it out, it makes it a little bit easier to see the edges as well.
Yeah. Sandra says, I've just ordered Norman. It'll be my first time making a toy. Sandra, take your time doing it and enjoy it, my lovely. Christine says, any chance Joe could make us a Labrador Retriever for us dog lovers? I'm a guide dog puppy walker and I miss every dog that goes off to be a life changer. Oh, there you go, Joe. That'd be a nice one to do. Helen Gill has messaged in. Hello, John and Joe. Lovely to see you both on together. I've always loved demonstrating Joe's projects as her instructions are always so easy to follow. Enjoy both. Now, do you know she had a baby? She had a baby. Oh, no. Sue says, morning, John and Joe. Just bought Norman. Please thank Joe for wishing my daughter well when she was recently in hospital and I made her a breezy bear. She has made a great recovery and we're all so proud of her. Oh, that's lovely. Loads of messages. Neve says, good morning, John and Joe. Still raining here, so it's a sewing day, Neve in Ireland. Val says, just ordered my Norman. But I've got cats, but Heinz mixture, but I love Joe's toys. And then Bernie says, always alive in your heart, Joe, so good. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Right, okay, so what are you up to now? Where are we going next?
Okay, now we've joined the front of the leg together. We've done this seam. The front foot goes across the bottom of the leg.
Yeah.
I'll sew that on. And there's a notch in the middle marking the centre of the foot, so you can line that up with the seam.
This bit's all going to be quite straightforward though, isn't it? After you've done the head, concentrate on the head. This one's going to be quite straightforward to do.
There's one little bit that can be a bit awkward coming up, but there's little tips and ways to make that easier as well.
Well, just so you know, Jen, there's just 5 minutes left on the demo, if that's all right.
I'll fly.
5 minutes is a long time to fill on telling you fly.
Not when you're sewing it.
I know, because now I do my Sunday sew-alongs. You suddenly realise how much work has to go to a demonstration, don't you? Right.
I spent hours doing all this yesterday.
Oh.
You always think it will take only a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then... So the foot's joined onto the bottom of the leg.
Right.
So then right sides together, fold that over. A foot folds in half. And sew from the front of the foot up around and up to the pivot point. The pivot point corresponds with the seam in the inner leg. So
it looks like a sheep or like a sheep's. Does sheep have hoofs? Do sheep have hoofs? Sheep's hand. Okay. And you're going to stitch that all in one then, right round and all in one? You
have to do this all in one and pivot at the pivot points, but don't pin. Pin up to the first pivot point so that it keeps it all on track. But don't pin any further than that because it makes then pivoting too difficult.
Brilliant.
Put the needle down. So when I get to the end of the foot, I tend to pivot there and make sure everything's on track. I'll do this quite quickly because 5 minutes. Right, so I can feel where the seam is and I want that pivot point to line up with the seam. I would take a little bit longer on this, but I'm just going to go for it.
Okay. Yeah, but at home you're doing it for pleasure, not demonstrating in a 45-minute slot or whatever.
So I've paused now with the needle down at that pivot point and I'm going to just snip just ever so carefully towards the pivot point and just the side body fabric.
Right.
Just to give it a little bit more flex and movement for this section. And then this next tiny bit joins to the part of the stomach that's in between the legs.
Right.
So we sew across there to the other pivot point. And you can, if you want, if it helps to clip there as well, you can clip there.
Right.
And then after the pivot, sometimes I'll just do a couple of stitches just to get round the corner and then readjust again, just to make sure.
So rather than it being a severe point, you kind of go up, 2 stitches across and then carry on, sort of thing.
Yes, there we go. So that has sewn all the way up the back of the leg.
Yeah.
The little section for the stomach.
Yeah.
And then round to the back leg, that curve at the top of the back leg. And then it can help, if you want, I don't always do this, but you can clip into that little section there before where the foot will be.
Right.
Just to open that out and make it easier to sew the back foot then across the bottom of the back leg.
Right.
But I've got one I've done.
Brilliant.
So I'll swap.
Did you ever want to be a Blue Peter presenter when you were little?
Oh, I would, yes. I used to regularly pretend, if I was baking anything, it was a cookery show.
I still do that.
Do you?
In my kitchen, I do put everything in bowls and I do... I know, it's sad, isn't it? Right, so that's the back foot then.
So I've sewn the back foot across the back leg.
Yeah.
And then again, as before, that folds over. And this time, the back, so around the foot, along the bottom of the leg, and then the back of the stomach joins to the back of the body.
Don't worry, I think we're going fast because all of this is in the instructions. It's all photographed and written in the instructions. It's very, very, very straightforward. I know you're thinking, oh, where is she now? Which bit's she doing now? Because it all looks the same, doesn't it, in cream fur? Anyway, so we've done that. Then what's the tricky thing that you want to show us then?
The tricky thing was just the pivot points for the little stomachy bit.
I was waiting for the tricky bit. Right. So where do we go next then?
The tail, I'll sort of quickly say how the tail's done, right? And then I'll
No, don't worry, don't worry,
hand finishing on the face. Yeah. The tail piece is a rectangle.
Right.
So fold that over. And this is where a walking foot comes in handy because it will stretch sew with a long stitch length, just to join that as a tube.
Yeah.
Pin it if you want. Use a walking foot to keep it even, but actually if it twists, it's fine because it just gives the tail a little bit of a curl.
Oh yeah, because none of them are. But hang on, so you've got a rectangle, you fold it in half, but then is there a pattern piece to follow the shape of it? Oh,
There
yeah,
is.
There we go.
Then you want to draw out around the template piece. I'll get the hang of this one day.
Yeah.
The template piece shows how you place the straight edge along the fold and just draw around
Right.
the other edge and sew then over the top following that line. So there's no seam allowance on the tail because you're going to sew directly
on the line. Yeah, there. Got it.
So directly on there, not across the end,
Mm-hmm.
and then trim it out, and you can leave quite a fat seam allowance because that will just add a bit of filling.
Yeah,
to
because
the
you've not
tail.
stuffed if you look at this, you've not stuffed the tail. Look, the tail's soft, but it's got the seam allowance in there, so it gives it a little bit of body, but there's no toy stuffing in there or anything. Because as Joe, I said, oh, you're not stuffed the tail, and she had to be like this, wouldn't it? It'd be like that the whole time. Whereas this, it's more real, isn't it? You know, like, oh. Anyway, right. So that's the tail.
So that's the tail. So don't cut a piece out following this. Do the folded rectangle first, and that makes that a little bit easier. Right, I've got one I've done here. And if I show the screen, see the nose doesn't look right and it doesn't look feline
No.
yet.
So you, if it's all made, right? So the whole Norman is made. He's still open down the back, but you stuff the head before you do the rest of it.
I like to stuff the head and then work on the facial features because if any stuffing moves out of position, you can still get your hand inside and reposition it. You want to stuff it quite firmly because, especially this snout area, because it has to support quite a bit of stitching.
Yeah.
And shaping. And also sometimes with a longer needle, I've got this one, I can go straight in through the opening in the back and bring it out where I want it. And then the knot's held inside as well, and it just gives a neater finish.
Which are the needles I showed you earlier. Oh, here you go, pack of 3. Okay, so what you up to then?
I'm doing the nose. I'm stitching it with white thread just so it shows up a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I just want to halfway down the nose along one side. I'll make the stitches quite big so they're visible.
So now in real life you do this in brown?
Yeah, brown or black.
Yeah.
So I've made a few stitches to secure the thread and make sure it's firmly held. And then go in from the side of the nose and then up and out on the top seam, about 1/4 inch in from the edge, sort of directly above really. So go from there, then back down to halfway down the nose, and then back again.
So you're basically sewing a little ridge along the top of the nose, aren't you?
Yes, just pulling in.
On the cotton bit, not... Oh, no, you're on the fur bit, aren't you? Hang on, I'm just looking now. I don't know if you had to see this. Don't know if Daniel will be able to come in close enough for that there. Oh, can you just see along there? There's a little ridge along there. Just about make it out. Okay, Joe, I'm going to have to stop you there, I'm afraid.
Okay.
And then you just stuff the rest of the Norman.
A little bit of internal shaping from the edges of the mouth to the eyes, just to bring those in as well.
Oh yes,
Give it a little smile, and then an embroidered mouth.
Which all that is in the instructions, isn't it?
All there, all fully detailed.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Joe. Now, we do have breaks here, so Joe's just going to have to go off and I shall tell you all about this. But, I mean, isn't he just gorgeous? I love him. I'm so honoured that Joe's actually designed a Norman for me. We've kind of joked about it for a long time, but here he is. £32.50 or $42. So what you get for that is you get your box that it comes in, beautiful box it's packaging. You get your instructions, which are so thorough, I can't tell you. Then inside the box, you automatically get a Joe Carter specially designed pin badge, which we know you love your pin badges. You've got your eyes, your green eyes, special green eyes for Norman. Then you get your embroidery thread for the mouth. You get your brown cotton square for the nose. You get your cream plush for your cheeks and everything, and then you get your brown plush, you get your ginger plush, and then you get your hide for the main body there. All of that, all you have to supply for it is the stuffing, really. You just need to buy the stuffing for that. £32.50 or $42 will get you. Now, remember, we're not shipping till Friday for those, but so many have gone, I can't tell you. Now, the other things that we showed you that you might need to make that Norman, these are going to be on stills for you. So the first one is needles. £1.49 for your 3 needles. There they are. £1.49 for your 3 needles. Now, if you buy those with your thing, they'll all be dispatched together on Friday. After that, you might need your marker pen. Oh, no, your stuffing. Now, if you've got a bag of toy stuffing, or look on our website, see if there's any other toy stuffing, because that's not enough. I just need to warn you, that's not enough to do a Norman. You'd need about 3 of those to stuff your Norman. Just so you know, you might already have some toy stuffing, or you might have already bought the big bag off the website, or go and have a check if it's on the website. If it's not there, it will be back very soon. Or, of course, the marker that Joe used is this one. £4.29 marker pen, erasable. It's a wipe-off one, a wipe-off, not an air erasable one. £4.29. Oh, a couple of items that are going really well on the web. I've got one they said, there you go. Now, you see this is a desk tidy, right? Now, it doesn't need... Let me move Norman and I'll just move him there. There we go. It doesn't need to be just for sewing kit. If you buy, because basically what you're getting is, it'll come up in a second for you. You're normally how much? $9.99? No, I've got that wrong. Just waiting for it coming in now. Here you go. You save 25% if you buy 2, £15 and you'll get the 2. What I'm saying is you can use one in your workroom. Lizzie Curtis has got one next to her sewing machine, and it's absolutely ram-packed with stuff. Or if you've got an office, if you work from home, or your hubby works from home, or you've got kids schooling at home and everything. We won't talk about homeschooling with Joe here because I've got a story which I can't tell you. And they're fantastic. Get 2 £50. They're already flying out. Absolutely flying out the door. Right, the purple Gemini, my purple Gemini. Bye, Joe. I'll just wave it to Joe. Now, this is my purple Gemini. It's not made by me or anything like that. It's just a special that you can only buy on my show. It should be £299.95. This. You get the Gemini machine in purple. You get the purple caddy. And you get the three free die cuts, right? For the diamonds, the triangles, and the hexes there. Now, this is where I need to tell you, if you haven't yet used your Club Inspire first purchase, join Club Inspire. It's like a point system, and the more you spend, the more perks you get, basically. Use that to get 20% off your first purchase. Or if you have already used that and you haven't used the John 20 code, you'll get 20% off. Not off the original price, off that price, so off $209.96, you get another 20% off if you use the code John20. Now, if you've already used it, you can't use it again. And don't be thinking, you can think, oh, I might use it later or whatever, but it runs out at the end of the month. That's it. It runs out at the end of July. So please be careful. So many people have taken advantage of that. So an extra 20% off. And of course, it's free P&P. It's free P&P. I know. So let me put that to one side. Right, do you want me to cover anything else? The what? The what? Oh, fabrics. I'm thinking, what's she talking about? The fabrics. It just sounds like... Because what happens is it's not her fault. I love Laura dearly. But it cuts it off her at the beginning and the end. So it's a bit like Norman Collier sometimes when she's talking to me. You have to be of a certain age to know what Norman Collier means, but she kind of cuts out. Right. I love these fabrics. I absolutely adore them. Now, in a minute... we will see Sarah using some of these and using the die cuts. In fact, she's got a brilliant build-to-block deal we've got coming up in a second. But these are all gorgeous linear bundles, right? I've got them in different names. I've got Rainbow, which is this one. So you get Berry, you get Azalea, you get Peacock, and you get Green in that one. Originally, we were going to make a bigger one, so there would have been 7 colours, but it's just half a rainbow, that one. Now, you're getting 15% off. If you buy them like that. What it is, you get half a metre of each in bundles. Now, you can buy each of these fabrics by the half metre as well. But if you buy the bundle, you get the 15% off. So that one's Rainbow. Beautiful, gorgeous colours there. Right? Right, Ocean is the most popular, and that's this one. Aren't they gorgeous? Now you get teal, lichen, and the other one. My brain's gone a little bit, what's it at the moment? But you get duck egg, that was the other one, and petrol blue. There you go, petrol blue. £20. I was having a good look. Sarah's getting ready to show you all what she's going to do. Beautiful. Half a metre of each of those. You can buy any of them by half metre. If you want to buy them by half metre, you just go to the website and they're all photographed and the photographs are brilliant. The photographs are absolutely brilliant. You know what? That's one thing that really annoys me is when you go to buy something off the internet, because obviously if you're watching me, I can be your eyes and your hands and everything like that. But if you buy something straight to the internet and the picture's bad, and sometimes you have to buy fabric from a picture that big. Not here. The pictures are lovely, big pictures. You can see exactly what you're getting. Sunrise, sunset is this one. Grenadine, pumpkin, red and sunshine. Oh, that's lovely. I'm surprised that one's not the best seller. I mean, I love the ocean. I do love the ocean, but I love those colours. Oh, it is in second place. It's in second place. £20 or $26.50. You get half metre, half metre, half metre and half metre. 15% off that bundle. Beautiful. Right, and then the other one is called Essentials, which are these colours here. Oh, now, looky, looky, looky. These, you see, what I love about buying a bundle like this is sometimes you don't need 3 metres of fabric. Sometimes you can be sitting at home thinking, oh, a little splash of orange or a little splash of petrol or something like that would look nice in there, right? Having the bundles like this, fantastic. Vanilla, cream, indigo and grey. £20. I know. Now, they are all available by the half metre, as I say. Now, Sarah's joined me. Are you ready, my lovely?
Oh, John, you'll learn with me. I was born ready, John. I am like ready and raring to go at any point. Yes, do you want me to crack on and tell you what I'm going to be doing?
Yes.
So I've got... He hasn't given us much mind. I mean, he has literally given me a few little scraps. Luckily, that's all I need to do. Now, we've had a request. I can't remember who it was, but one of you guys wrote in and said you bought the double wedding rings. Crikey, how long was it ago now, John? About 4 weeks ago. Yeah. When we had the double wedding rings on. Could we show you again how to do it? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Whoever that request was from. If that was you, let me know that... Well, and let everybody else know that we actually listened to you. Now, what I have done for you is I've repeated the deal that we had on as well. So for those of you that didn't know or missed it when we were on, this is our world famous builder block system. This is the one that everyone knows about, that everyone talks about. So this is the builder block system that is going to allow you, oh, I thought I had my quilt here to show you. I'll get my quilt out and show you all the different patchwork pieces that you do. But if you see here on the side, these are all of the different quilt blocks you can do. This is your die set that is going to cut your half-inch square triangles, quarter-inch square triangles, and your squares for you to be able to do. So if I show you here, if we get this all opened up, you can see here, this has got all of your different sizes. There are your half square triangles, for example. You've got a drawer with your half squares in, a drawer with your quarter squares in, and a drawer with all of your squares in. So this is to do all of your standard, kind of standard quilt blocks. So if you remember again, here's all the different ones, and I will show you how this works. This is what I was featured. Was it last week or the week before? I did some demos on this, John. But what we're doing is we're saying if you buy the builder block system, so it's £99 to buy the system. However, we will throw in the double wedding ring absolutely free. So this is another, what, £69.99 if we're working in pounds for the double wedding ring system. This one comes free when you buy the builder block. And it's this is the one that someone asked me to show you. So I've got some of them lovely fabrics that John's got. I'm going to cut some pieces out and I'm going to actually sit and make a lovely double wedding ring while John's showing you all the fabrics.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Oh, ever ready, but just throw your... How brilliant. How brilliant is that? Now, obviously, you need the Gemini machine to use these dies. Can I also just say, what Tara just said then, is if you get this, right, all the different sizes, you can make blocks of all of these different sizes. Look, a 3-inch block, a 4-inch block, a 6-inch block, 6-inch block, an 8-inch block, a 9-inch block, and 12-inch block. And a lot of you have bought these since I've come on the show and everything, and said the precision with which these cut is fantastic. And a lot of ladies don't like the actual cutting. Do you know what I mean? They kind of going, oh, I love to do all the sewing together, but it's the cutting out and I don't always get it right. And also, I tell you what, I did a demo this week for face masks, right, on my Sew Along Sunday, right? And I cut 6 sets of them out, one after the other. And when I came to join them together, they weren't exactly the same. Whereas if you have one of these, you know full well that every bit, I'll just show you the end there, you see that all the different, they are going to be exactly the same size every time you cut them. And you can cut up to 8 in fabric in one go. So you're getting this. Now, a lot of people will go back to this because I was going to show you to this. A lot of people wouldn't do this, right? Because it's such a difficult quilt. It's not a beginner's quilt. Normally, it's not a beginner's quilt to do. But with your builder block and your Gemini, and it's just fantastic. So let me just go through the fabrics again that Sarah's going to be using. Because right, I'm going to go. Can I go in reverse order or do? Yeah. So I've got essential first of all here. Now what the bundles are is you get 1/2 meter of each fabric that you can see in that bundle. So this is all the essentials. So you've got vanilla. In fact, I think they're on the screen, aren't they? Did I just see them written somewhere? Oh no, how weird is that? I know that's cream and that's vanilla, that's zinc and that's indigo in this one. I was just thinking that rather than me read them out if you've already got them there. But anyway, you get 1/2 meter each, saving 50%. 1/2 meter, fantastic for your stash, that one is. Right, then I've got sunrise, sunset. So you get red, grenadine, pumpkin and sunshine in this one. 4 1/2 meters for your £20 there, saving 15%. That's lovely, isn't it? That's our second place fabric at the moment. Now, like I say, you can buy all of these by the 1/2 meter on the website. So if you are thinking, oh, that grenadine would be lovely as a backing for a quilt I'm doing, or lovely as a border, you can buy it by the 1/2 meter. And if you want 4 meters, you can buy 4 meters. It's just that we've done a special deal in these bundles, right? This is Ocean, and this is the most popular bundle so far. Oh, now, over half the stock of this bundle's gone already. And I've only just shown you them, really, haven't I? £20. You get 1/2 meter, 1/2 meter, 1/2 meter and 1/2 meter. Duck egg, petrol, teal and lichen. £20. See, I remember those, that Laura telling me those. I think they're gorgeous colours. Do you know what would be nice that if you put a bit of the kind of vanilla with that as well? They're just, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, in the waves of the sea and they come in and then they have a little bit of white froth on the top. Now, rainbow, it's kind of half a rainbow, isn't it, really? You get these 4 gorgeous colours. You do get berry, you get azalea, you get peacock, and you get green in that one. £20, 1/2 meter of each. And again, they are all available by your 1/2 meter. If you want to buy them by the 1/2 meter, just go onto the website, $5.99 or $8 for 1/2 meter. Okay, now look at these. I'm just going to show you these before Sarah starts. Last time we had the new World Tapestry fabrics on, they absolutely sold out. I think if you go to the website, there's a couple of meters of mandala left. That's it, right? We haven't got mandala today because we had a couple of meters left from the last show. That was all. These are all in specially for today. So look, let's start off. This one's called Lisbon. I love it. I love it. Right, that's it close to. Now, they're $5.99 for 1/2 meter. Now, I think there's a deal on these. You can get any 2 1/2 meters for £10.50, right? Any 2 for £10.50. Now, if you buy 2 of the same, that's absolutely fine. You can do. So say you wanted a meter of this, you can do. Right, look at this. Look at the width. Isn't that just gorgeous? Whether you're making handbags, whether you're covering a chair, whether you're... a lot of people I know have those piano stools, and a lot of them covered the tops of their piano stools in this fabric. Right, so that was Lisbon. Look at this one there. This one's called Horizon, I seem to remember. I won't open them all out. I'll just show you the different patterns. Oh, gorgeous. The colours in there are exquisite, aren't they? Some of these are quite nice the wrong way around as well. Look. Imagine if you use both sides of that. $5.99 for 1/2 meter. Then we're moving on to Little Aztec. Oh, come on. Oh, they've been folded differently. There you go. There's Little Aztec. Look at those gorgeous patterns. What else would you make out of these? I mean, somebody mentioned earlier that they made a handbag. Was it Bernie? Somebody came in and said they made a handbag out of some of the tapestry fabric, made the most beautiful. In fact, you know those bags we did last week? They look stunning. Oh, little llamas. Look. This always flies out. Little llamas. I'll just put my hand in so you can see the size of the llamas there. Because they also do a big llama version where the llamas are huge. $5.99 for half a metre. Beautiful. Then I think this one's called is this Energy or Horizon? No, this is Energy, this one. Energy, this one's called. They're all on the website. They've all got the proper names on the website there. You can see why, can't you? $5.99 or $8.49 for half a metre. Next one, the Tree of Life, or if we're speaking Portuguese, Budachi. The Tree of Life. I didn't know that because there's a Budachi opal from Brazil. Isn't it lovely? It's so cute. Imagine a lovely carpet bag made out of that. Imagine cushions. Oh, this is the most popular. This is the most popular. I thought the llamas would have been the most popular. Beautiful. Right, now this is little, I want to say Beethoven. Is that, it's what? Was it Little Holland? Why do I want to call it Beethoven? They're doing a big one of this. Got Carnival coming up next. $5.99. $5.99, it's lovely, isn't it? Beautiful. That looks like lots of half square triangles, doesn't it? If you look at it, half square and quarter square triangles in there. And then last but not least, Carnival, which is now, it's very funny because I've got a die coming up later. It's in Tara's show, actually. Clamshells. They're mini clamshells, look like that, like they've been EPP together. And we've got a clamshell die coming up later. Beautiful. Right, let's go and see how Sarah's getting on. Miss Ever Ready, putting her phone away. Ever Ready with her double wedding band.
Well, I didn't want to start without showing you what I was doing.
Right.
So I've just got it ready and I'm going to walk you through it. So
Brilliant.
Let's imagine you've just had your fabric delivered. You've picked a couple of the nice colours that you want to work together, and we're literally going to do like an out-of-the-box experience. So as soon as you get this home, you're going to take it out. You're going to peel off the sleeve, and then when you open the little drawer, you'll see inside you get the instruction booklet. Now this is going to literally walk you step by step through exactly, this is the quilt that I've got in front of me, John.
Yeah.
It gives you some little tips about cutting against the grain, but then also it shows you your traditional double wedding ring, tells me what you need to cut in the first fabric and the second fabric. But then if you look, it also gives you some extra different tips on how to assemble it as well, right? So you've got loads of little tips kind of as we're going along. So there's my double wedding ring. Oh, I think I'm going to sneeze.
Oh no, that's because the fluff from the Joe.
It is, there is a...
Fluff from Norman. Oh, bless you, wants a wish.
Yep. Oh, I can't put my hands
I've got a quick
sanitizer.
question from Lorraine. Can you use the dies with other cutting machines like a Sizzix?
Yes, so our dies are standard and work in all of your different machines. So they're what's called a thick mixed media die. So they're still a thin metal die, but they're a little bit thicker than a regular die. So yes, if you've got a Sizzix machine, they will absolutely work in all of those different machines. Right.
That's brilliant, because lots of people keep them individual, don't they? Oh, you can only use this if you buy this, you can only use this if you buy this.
We play nicely with the other kids in the playground. Is the way I always describe it to people, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. So if it tells you here, you need arcs and squares from one fabric, melons and corners from the other. Now what you'll see is when I actually lift this out, it comes with a little map. And so it tells you you've got your large melon, your small melon and your medium melon. So actually you've got 3 different sizes of each one. And that's because you can do a 6-inch, an 8-inch and a 12-inch block all from this same one. Wow. So I'm going to do the biggest one possible just so that the camera will be able to see it easy. So I'm going to go with the 12-inch, which means I'm going to use the largest of each size. So I need the large melon, I need the large arc, I need the large corner and I need the large square. So all you do is you take your little map out and you take out the largest one of what you need in each size. So there's my melon. There's my lovely big arc in here as well. Here's my nice big corner. And then here is my largest square as well. And the great thing is, this isn't just packaging, it's this lovely kind of suede feel so that you can keep all of your dies organised and you don't lose anything. So it's like your storage solution as well as the packaging. So there we go, put them to one side now because we know we've got them out ready. And here's what we're going to do, we're going to get out the plates that you need So all of your plates come in with your Gemini.
Right.
Now, a couple of little tips here. If you want to pre-stabilise your fabric beforehand, you can do that. We had the fabric stabiliser on the other day. What you should do is try and turn and rotate your plates every time you use them so that they wear on both sides equally. And if you want to make sure that you don't like get any little nicks of fabric, if you think about your scissors, when you cut your scissors together, you've got metal cutting into metal, John.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the same here. We're going to do our metal cutting into metal. Did you see that I just put that away? You don't need this.
I was going to say, what is that?
No. So in your machine, the machines are standard to work with either paper or fabric. So that means they work with either the thicker metal dies that I've just been telling you about, or regular paper thin metal dies. If you're using the paper ones, you're going to use this sheet.
Right.
We're not. We're using all fabric ones. So all we need is the two outer plates, which are the clear ones.
Yeah.
Then you need your frosty coloured one.
Yeah.
And then we also need our metal one.
Are you giving a brand new one each week?
No, I don't, but I thought I'd have a nice new one for today.
Oh,
I didn't last week.
No, I was going to say the one last week.
And just make sure every time you use it, you turn it over. It will look like a roadmap of Britain. If it starts to look quite bent, just put it through your machine with your other plates in without any fabric in, and it'll flatten it out quite well.
It's quite good, this, actually, because people will, when you get yours home, yours will look like the one Sarah's got right now. As soon as she cuts her first thing, you'll see how it marks it. Now, that's perfectly normal, and that's what it's supposed to do. So it's quite good that we're seeing it happening for the first time. Because it must be a bit frightening if you buy something like this, put it through the machine, and then think, oh, my metal's all dented and things. It's supposed to be. Watch.
Yep, it's absolutely going to be. Right, here we go. I'm folding the fabric up because what I'm wanting to do, John, is I'm wanting to get the best kind of yield out of the fabric. So I wonder if I can fold this 4 times. This is what you'll start and play with. How many layers of fabric have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would give me 8 layers. Is that going to fit on? Oh, look at that. Like an absolute dream. Right, so just make sure you are cutting right over the fold. Don't push it too tight. A couple of other little tips as we're going.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is, instead of putting it right up on the corner like this, I'm actually going to position it slightly into the fabric like that. So that what it does is it comes on at an angle. All right?
Right, yeah.
So, and then big tip, use a bit of tape. Tape them down in place. Okay. And I like to tape the dye to the fabric to the metal plate.
Right.
And I'm going to do it in 2 places so that this does not move at all as we're going through the machine.
And that doesn't affect the way that the machine cuts the fabric or anything like that at all, does it?
Nope, not in the slightest. And it's up to you. You know, there's little tips on there about cutting against the grain and with the grain. And I've never quite been pedantic enough to get that perfect. And I don't think
but you're going exactly the right way, because you've got the straight of grain going with the warp and the weft on your corner.
Yep.
And with your melon, you've got it going diagonally across, which is what you want.
It does give you some little hints and tips about this. If I show you in the book, can you see it does kind of suggest where you might want to put them against the grain. Yeah. So you can see I've done that corner against the grain, as we said, and then I've cut my melon slightly off at an angle. Yeah. So here we go. So we can cut that first piece. If I'd slightly adjusted this, let's have a look. I might move it a little bit so that we can get 2 on here. Yeah, there we go. So I'm still slightly angling it. Now,
the only reason you're angling it is because when it goes through the machine, it's going to go through the corner first and then cut along. But you could put it straight through, can't you? But it just makes a very loud clonking noise that goes through. Because if you think, the pressure is going through a whole line all at the same time. So it's giving it a real good old press.
Good old press. Well, think of it like an old-fashioned mangle. That's the best way to think of it, okay? So I'm being quite pedantic, and I'm going to get all 3 of these on here at once. Okay. So bear in mind, you can cut 8 up to 8 layers of fabric. Right. So all you need to make sure you do is you have your 8 layers of fabric, or if it's not quite 8, little bit of a tip though, if you're cutting 8 here, don't put just 2 layers there.
Oh, I was about to, that could be my next question.
So it would be all right if I had 8 layers here, and then these were all just 4 layers, because they go through the machine at different times. Right. But where they're going through the machine at the same time, try and keep them the same number of layers.
Oh, so you could do 8 of the cream and 2 of the pink and 2 of the green. Pink if we want. That doesn't matter.
That's no problem.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Now, I've really taken my time there to kind of over-egg the pudding and explain that to you. Trust me, when you're doing it at home, you'll just do it in a fraction of the time. But what you've got to remember is, if I was cutting each of these by hand, to get those circles, but for a whole double wedding ring, you would be literally on for ages. And you get one of those, even a fraction of an inch out, the whole thing's going to be off.
Yeah.
The whole project is not going to work. Whereas if I look here, we've cut through literally 8 layers of fabric, and every one of those is perfect. Every one of these curves down here, the curvature on it is absolutely perfect, which means that essentially this, all the cutting, all that would have been an absolute hassle now, we've done in a matter of seconds.
Can you just show the metal plate, Sarah, so people at home
Yes.
can see that?
Let's take
Because this is what it meant to do this, and I just think if I bought this machine
You
and
would
did
panic.
it for the first time, and then I saw my plate, I'd think, oh, I've ruined it, I've
Yep.
broken it.
Well, can you see it's all different shapes,
Yeah.
right? Whereas what I was saying was, if you want to flatten that out a little bit, let's get that magnetic in. Basically, all the plates that came included with your Gemini,
Yeah.
not the rubber one, because you don't need your rubber mat in there. I'll put them all in, and I'll pop it through again, and it's just going to smooth that metal plate back out.
Oh, wow.
So, because if you think, what happens is to cut through that many layers of fabric, you need an immense amount of pressure. And we've just tried to look at different ways that we can achieve that versus how other companies have tried in the past. So, for example, you talked about the Sizzix before. Well, with a Sizzix machine, how they've done it is they've embedded the steel edge of the metal into a big block.
Right.
Well, that's wonderful, but then you're buying a huge block every time.
Yes.
And it's massive, and they're expensive to make. Whereas these, we're able to produce these and nest them inside each other, so they don't cost anywhere near as much to make. But the payoff, can you see? So we've now smoothed that back out.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
so
still going to mark.
You've still
It's
got the
never gonna
slight
go
marks.
back, yeah.
But all that happens is next time I'm going to cut through, I'm going to cut on the other side of the metal plate. And don't just try and mix around where you have it. Lizzie's, when she uses hers, brilliant. She always calls hers the roadmap of Great Britain, because it literally just does look like all the little windy roads when you're on there. But that is completely normal. And actually what you'll find is a lot of people probably won't use their metal plate when they're cutting. We like to get, because I'm demonstrating, we're live on air, I like to get them absolutely perfect and spot on, whereas actually when you're doing it at home, you might not be needing to cut all 8 layers at once, so you might not need all of that pressure, and you'll know some fabrics, and whether you're cutting against the grain or with the grain, whether it's going to need that little bit of a metal to kind of smooth it off. Right, here we go. So if we go to the instruction booklet now, you can see it's showing you how to put everything together. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this.
So hang on, you've cut all of your pieces out of the block already?
All of them out the block already. Yep. So we're going to take the top 2 edges. You've got your melon in the middle. Okay. Then we've got these 2 parts here. So we've got that one, and then we've got this one here. And then I've gone with the nice green for the corners here. Now, the great thing is, that's what it should look like before you start sewing it together.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it doesn't look anything like a square, does it not?
Oh,
But it's
no.
because it's built your 1/4 of an inch seam allowance into absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So that when we come to start sewing, which I'm just going to sit and sew away, John, while you're doing all your important business over there.
Okay.
You'll see me sitting to assemble it.
Okay, can you just push it? Can you just push it up into the so I can say no. Because what a lot of people do is you can mix and match. So what Sarah's done is she's got both edges with the green square. What you can do when you look at a pattern of a traditional one, in fact, the one that Sarah's got on her desk, the actual quilt that Sarah's got on her desk, you can see that they do different colours of those squares in the corner there to make, you see what I mean? So you haven't just done the green with they've kind of mixed and matched all the different colours going around. So once you've got the hang of it, you can start moving those squares around and have the pink or the black or the green or the grey or whatever you need to, just to create that different look. And so that gives it the equivalent of this. And I'll get onto the fabrics. In fact, I'll do this first, actually, because, is that all right, Laura? Me just taking, because you buy this, right? You buy this build-a-block kit, right? You get this completely for free. And look, people spend years and years and years making a double wedding band because traditionally they're done as a wedding gift and things like that, or as an anniversary gift or something like that. But it's the cutting out. that takes all the time. This way you can cut the whole of that quilt out. Well, how many seconds did it take? 16 seconds for it to go through.
16 seconds. And even me taking my time to lay it all out, John, you're talking to cut, I've cut there 4 blocks worth, and it took a maximum 3 to 4 minutes.
Exactly. So if you think of a whole quilt, you're going to have done a whole quilt. If you've got all your fabrics prepped and ready to go, you can have the whole thing cut out in a matter of no time. And then it's all about the sewing it together, isn't it? And also, if you cut them all out to begin with, you can lay them out like Sarah just put 1 block out. Get your spare double bed, you can lay the whole thing out. Move your colours around, move your panels around. You might not want a burgundy one up in that corner. You might want it down there. And you kind of squint at it, look at it, and you can arrange all of it before you even start the sewing. And then you sew. So this is completely for free if you buy your build-a-block. You obviously need the Gemini machine as well, but that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's what, sorry? I was saying on this. Right, okay, £99.99 or $89.95. Right, the purple Gemini, which I just mentioned here, which is, you can see it behind me there, but I've got a nice picture of it for you here. This is only available on my shows. This is only available now with me. It's the purple Gemini machine, right? But you also get the caddy. Now, the caddy is beautifully designed so that it fits under the feet of the Gemini machine itself. So once it's there, it's not attached, but it's not going to move. It's not going to fall off or anything like that. And you can put all your tools in there, all your dies, everything like that you need to, you can just keep in there. But we're also giving you 3 sets of dies completely for free. You get the diamond, you get the triangle, and you get the hexie. I know. So it's $209.96 for the whole lot. Now, it's obviously UK only, this. But if you use your John 20, you get an extra 20% off if you haven't already used it. Obviously, you can only use it once. Right, the fabrics that Sarah was just using, you're loving your Linears. When Sunny said, oh, do you fancy doing a show with Linears? I was like, I love them. I love them. They're made by Macawa, right? They are top quality cotton. That if you've not bought top quality cotton before, you will see the difference immediately when you start cutting, when you start sewing, when you start pressing. It just helps so much, and the colours are just absolutely beautiful. Shall I start with rainbow, which is this one here? So only half a rainbow, really. You get green, you get azalea, you get peacock, and you get berry. There you go. 4 beautiful, beautiful colours in there. £20, then you're getting 15% off. Now, so you get half metre, half metre, half metre, half metre. Each of these are available by the half metre, but if you just want to buy a bundle, have a little array of colour there, 15% off, £20 or $26.50. That one's called Rainbow. Now, next is the favourite, which will be Ocean. Oh, 3/4 of Ocean has gone. 3/4 of this one has gone. Right, there we go. Beautiful colours in here as well. So you've got your petrol, teal, lichen, and the duck egg. £20. I know, $26.50 if you're buying in America. Saving 15. Oh, now these aren't going to last. These are going to go. So if you've got these in your basket, please check out. Please check out. Oh, actually, they're £20. So if you just check out on these, right, that's your free P&P. I'm looking for, I know. They're $5.99 or $8 if you want to buy them just by the half metre. Sunrise next, which is this one here, gorgeous. We've got grenadine, we've got pumpkin, we've got sunshine, and we've got red. I think it's called real red or true red or something like that, isn't it? There you go. Oh. £20 again, so you get half metre, half metre, half metre, half metre. Beautiful colours, aren't they? That's uplifting, that one, isn't it? Obviously, you're looking for calm. Mind you, that's in second place. That is in second place. I was going to say Oceanic one is very calming, isn't it? Now, this one we've called Essentials because it's just, you know, when you're making something, oh, I just need a little bit of grey fabric or just need a little bit of cream fabric or vanilla. Well, here you go. There's your Essentials. So you've got cream, vanilla, blue. Oh, so half the stock of this is gone now. Half the stock of this one's gone already. And we're only at, what, 10:30? Well, the live show, we're 10:30, but you could be watching a pre-record, not pre-record, a repeat later. Please check on the website for availability. £20, 15% off. I know. But remember, they are all available by the half metre if you want them by the half metre. Right, let's have a look what she's up to.
Oh, yes, so...
Oh, wrong time to go because you can't sew and talk at the same time.
It's all right because I'm only doing a little bit at a time. I'm doing a little bit of sewing. Do you want to see how these sewing bits are coming in together though, right? So if I take out my ironing board and we'll just iron these as they're going... So I'm loving sewing round corners at the moment, John. Now I've discovered the best way to do it.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, oh yes, and I will show you my best way to do it. So I'm getting these double wedding rings perfectly sewn together here. So there's one corner, perfectly sewn together, right? And then this one here, so the next piece that's going to go in, again, the same again, I'm just going to take it and give it a nice press down. Now, so I think I was using a bit of a mix from a few different sets.
Yes, you were. You've got a bit of rainbow and a bit of essentials there, I think.
I've got whatever you sent me. Okay. So, right, here we go. So when you come to want to join these together, I'm going to show you exactly how we do this, right? So we're going to join these two together. All you do is you fold this in half and give it a little bit of a finger press in the middle section. Then we're going to do the same here. We're going to fold this in half.
Yeah.
And we're going to give this a little bit of a finger press in the middle one here so that we can now see where the two need to join together.
Right.
Right, so they need to join together where we've got that little join. Then I'm going to use the fabric erasable pens. These are on the website. They're absolutely essential. So the fabric erasable pen just on one side.
Fabric glue pen.
Fabric glue pen. Sorry, you've got the fabric erasable pens, haven't we, John? I've got pens on the brain.
Yes.
Then when we've got those two join bits, you see, they connect together right in the middle, and the glue's going to hold it together. Then you come to the edge, join these two together at the edge, and if you can look, I'm just literally making sure that those edges join all the way. Give them a bit of a press down.
Yeah.
Same here. I'm going to bring this so that these two join right together at that edge, and then once we're in, just make sure you're just popping that down all the way, and you're only gluing such tiny parts together that you can get this just working absolutely perfect. Let's have a look. I think my glue was drying a little bit. I'm going to pop a tiny little bit
So
more.
when you're saying you've discovered this, who did you discover it from?
Our Bernie. So Bernie was telling me, she watched me trying to sew some corners and she's like, oh, Sarah, don't do it like this. You just need one of these. And she introduced me to those, the fabric pens.
Yeah,
here we go.
glue pens. Now, the important thing is that you don't go to your local stationery shop and get any glue stick. It has to be one that's been developed for fabric, because this, first of all, it dries clear. Secondly, you can machine through it and it doesn't clag up your needle or anything like that. And also, it's just, and when you wash it, it'll just disappear. If you ever wash the quilt, it will just absolutely disappear.
Right, so I'm just going to go in there and I'm just going to my 1/4 inch, because obviously every one of these has your 1/4 inch seam allowance built in.
Yeah.
Now this one's quite easy to sew because it's just a very, very soft curve.
Right.
The other one that you saw me doing was a little bit more of a deeper curve. So just take your time as you're going around, just as I'm sure, you know, when you're sewing any sort of corners. And you're going to just get that perfectly lined up. And this is where it's worth taking the time, because if you go off a little bit here, your whole quilt's going to be off basically. All right. So once we've got it stitched on, that's when I can come back in with that iron and just give it a nice press. And once we've got it pressed in, the whole thing, let's have a look. See, I've just caught that a little tiny bit there on the corner. I've got to leave it open because that's going to get our corners in there as well, John.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just going to stitch them down. Now, I've gone straight in and done the curves first. It's probably a little bit easier. It's because I wanted to show you how to do the curves.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier if you put the corners in first and then stitch the corners to the curves. So on the next one that I do, because I'm just going to keep going while you're doing your...
Yeah, because you've now created yourself a Y seam, which a lot of people don't like doing a Y seam. So you're better off putting your squares on the end first.
Well, do you want me to show you? Do you want me to show you how we do that? So I can do that one, and I'll stitch this one back in. But I've got enough to do 4 of my pieces.
Yeah.
So we can start getting the next one ready. So I'll just lay that out, and I'll do the and I'll put the corners. Now I've shown you how to stitch the how to sew the curves together, which was my main thing that I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
I'll go and do it the right way that you will do it when you get it home, which makes life a lot easier. Which is you're going to stitch those corners on first. So this is when you will lose me, John. So,
yeah, no, that's fine.
So I'm going to go and stitch that corner onto there.
Yeah.
Can you see? I'm going to stitch that bit first. And it does give you all of this, right? If you're short, it does tell you in the assembly. So can you see it suggests that you stick the corners onto the curves.
Yeah.
You stick then stitch the corners onto the curves, and you stick the melon onto the archways, and then you join it all together.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Perfect.
I'm going to go and do that first.
And this is what Sarah's using, because you're getting this for free. You're getting this completely utterly free. If you buy a builder block, you get this completely and utterly for free. And you can do it, it's not just the one block Sarah's doing. Sarah's doing the 12-inch block. You can do a 6-inch and an 8-inch and a 12-inch block from that one set. That is all. Now, the thing is, you might think, oh, I don't really like wedding bags. If you know you've got a friend who's got a Gemini machine, what a fantastic gift. What a brilliant gift. I know. Or, you know what I mean? I just think, or maybe you've already got a builder block and you want this, give that as a gift. You get that. If you buy this, you get this completely and utterly for free. I know. And if, like, John 20, right? There's a code, John 20. If you haven't used it already, you can use it now. If you've used it already, then you can't use it again. Obviously, it wouldn't be very fair. You get 20% off. You get 20% off. But I also think what you need to do is you need to join Club Inspire, because you get 20% off your first purchase. But it's like a reward card, and every pound you spend, you get a point, basically. And you work your way up from pearl to bronze to silver to gold to platinum. Chloe, she's a double platinum already. Now, she only started coming in when I moved here. You know what I mean? So she's absolutely loving it. In fact, she and Crazy Lorraine were doing a bag. They bought the bag making dies that we had on. They had a bag making day yesterday, the day before. Socially distanced, because Chloe's house is big enough to do that. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, it's worth joining Club Inspire for your points. And then the more points you get, the more perks you get. It's all on the website. I'm not going to start telling you all about it now, but it's all on the website, all the different perks you get and things. So it's so worth doing. But if you've already done that, and you haven't used your John 20, you can't use the John 20 and the joining Club Inspire together. But what you do is you join Club Inspire, get 20% off something this week. Next week, use your John 20. It's only till the end of the month. Right, let's have a look at some of the tapestry fabric. I need to tell you that Lo's messaged in saying she's loving watching today's show and cheering up. Lo's had some very, very sad news recently, and it was her mum's funeral last week, so she's feeling very sad. She's saying we're cheering her up, which is nice. So, oh, Lo made this ring for me, by the way. Right, so, Lisbon. This is like loads of doors and windows, look. Oh, and it's very wide as well. I'll just hold it there so you can't see me. Isn't it gorgeous? Love the colours, love the pattern. Imagine what you can make, whether you're going to make cushions, whether you can make a bag. Do you know what would be nice? Can I put it down here? Yeah. What's they called? What they're called on the end of a curtain. You know when you make a curtain and you have those bits that go round? Something back. Tie backs, that's right. Make a nice tie back, wouldn't they? So that one, that's Lisbon. Then this one here is Horizon. Oh, no, it goes here. It's Horizon. All of these are on the website. You don't have to remember the name. You just go to the website. Now, they're $5.99 for half a metre. Or if you buy 2 half metres, you get them £10.50. So that's $5.99 or $8.49. £10.50 if you buy 2. I can't read the dollars for me. How many? 15. Anyway, that's beautiful, because that's really, really lovely, because you could just, look, that's kind of like a magic picture, magic eye picture, that one, isn't it? Then we'll move on to this one, which is Little Aztec. Oh, actually, I've just had an idea. You could mix Little Aztec and Little Llama together. I think they'd look quite cute together, wouldn't they? Little Llama's coming up next. $5.99. So now, Laura, the chair that you've covered, what kind of fabric's it in? With what on it? Oh, yes. It's a tapestry fabric. It's the one we had with bugs on. That's nice. You having that in your bedroom? $5.99. I don't. She doesn't like creepy crawlies. It's really weird that she's picked that fabric, isn't it? Right, this is gorgeous. The little llamas. Look at these. They're so cute. Now, this one feels slightly softer than the others, the llama. It almost feels like that fabric, but washed. So it's got a sort of drapier feel to it. Still the 80-20, 80% cotton, 20% polyester. $5.99 for half a metre. It's cute, isn't it? Okay, then we've got Energy coming up next. Energy. which is this one. Oh, now, look at that. Look at the movement in that. Doesn't it? It's worth opening that one up, doesn't it? Because it really looks different when you open it up. It's lovely. The colours are gorgeous, aren't they? Right, we'll have that down. Then we move, oh, now, is Tree of Life still the most popular? It is indeed. Tree of Life coming up next. Oh, hang on, I'm trying to stay neat and tidy as I go. This place looks like such a mess when we finish this show. After the show, it's like everything, especially as it gets more frenetic as the time goes on. Here's your Tree of Life. Look, isn't that gorgeous? Do you know what I'd have to do? I'd have to put sequins on that as well, I think, or jewels. Beautiful. Oops. Then we've got that. Oh, this is nice. Now, this is like half square triangles, quarter square triangles, this one. I love that one. It reminds me of chocolates for some reason. I don't know why. No idea why. £5.99 for half a metre. And then we've got just one left, Carnival. Which is like your clamshells. Oh, now, that's the side you're meant to use. That's the right side, what they call the right side. I'm loving the wrong side. You could use the wrong side. Look, how Mary Quant is that? You can use it either way around. That's slightly more muted that way, but you can use it either way around. Very Mary Quant, isn't it? That, those gorgeous colours. Oops. So I'll just pop that one away. Righty-ho. How are you doing with your block?
Loads better now that I'm doing it in the right order. It was good to be able to show you the curve, but can you see how much better it is? Now I don't have to do those Y corners, but just by doing them one at a time. So there we go. We've done the centre part, and then I'm going to stitch this part onto the outer edge here. So you can see it's starting to come together. Yeah. And again, all we're doing every time is folding it, putting that... make sure you line all the seams up, and then you can find the exact fold. Putting the little marker in. This is the one that's got a lot more curvature on than the last one. Yeah. But it's worth just getting that perfect. And honestly, had I not been doing it with the fabric pen, I think I would have lost the will to live. Trying to pin all of this, John. Oh, yes, yeah. It's a nightmare enough as it is, just getting it done with the pen. But again, all you do is you fold that round. Again, we're going to take these two centre points and put them together. And then what I like to do is start from the other edge, hold the edge together, and then just, you can get your finger in there and just help ease that into place, because what you need to do is make sure you do have those edges perfectly lined up. It's only going to work if you've got them absolutely perfectly lined up. And you can stretch the fabric and pull it into place where you need to. So can you see, I haven't quite got that, so I'm just manoeuvring everything along. Well, that's the thing, isn't it, with the glue, is you can keep manoeuvring it until it's in the right place. You haven't made that mistake of sewing it and then going, oh, it's in the wrong place. And also, you can make sure that it's even in the bit where you're going to sew. Now, you will get a slight pike crust fill on the edge, but as long as the bit where you're going to sew is flat, you're absolutely fine. Now, we haven't got the glue pen on the show today, but it's on the website. Just go to the website, search glue pen, and you'll find it. You get the actual glue pen and a refill. You'll be amazed how quickly you work through it, because you start finding all sorts of... Because when you're doing foundation paper piecing, when you're doing English paper piecing, when you're doing curved piecing like this or the Drunkard's Pathway, you're going to use it an awful lot. Because when I first saw them doing it, right, I was like, when I trained, you never put glue anywhere near a fabric. That's because nobody developed a fabric glue at that point. You would never ever put glue anywhere near a fabric whatsoever. And yet this, it's seen as like a master tool now. Everybody's got a glue pen. Louisa uses them all the time. Louisa Galt uses them all the time when she's doing her EPP. I know. I've got a little bit more EPP on again later, John. Exactly. At your request. Your request. And you made a really good point actually about the stuff on the website. So, we pick the things for the show, but the beauty about it is we are literally choosing from a whole website's worth of stock. So if there's something, we're talking about, maybe it's the fabric stabiliser or the fabric or the glue pens or anything like this, If you've seen us on with it in previous weeks, we're just not featuring it every week because we're choosing something different to focus on. But it doesn't mean that you can't go onto the website and find something we've been talking about in other previous weeks.
And also, if you're buying something for like £16 or £15, go onto the website, you could always buy some glue or some needles, something like that. Just top it up to the £20. And any time you buy, this is right, isn't it? Any time you buy £20 or above is free P&P. So it's almost worth, like you know the desk tidies we had earlier, right? You buy 2 of those for £15. I've got them here still, right? Right? But you can't, I'll put it there. If you think, oh, £15, buy something for £5, needles or wadding or something else that you need for your stash. Takes you over the £20, free P&P straight away.
Now, there's only ever one problem to that, John.
Oh, what's that?
Yes, so sometimes you won't get free P&P if you've added £20 worth of products to your basket. That is because those customers who are shopping with us regularly, they'll see something that's £20, but they're not actually even paying £20 because they're going to get their discount.
Yes.
So bear in mind, you're thinking, okay, so you get your £20. If you bought a Gemini with us, for example, right?
Yeah.
The £209 that you spent, right? You will have accrued now 209 points in our club. Right?
Right.
And if you bought a little bit something else, let's just assume you've maybe got it up to 250 points.
Yeah.
Right? And actually, when you join, we give you 250 points to kind of kick you off.
Right.
So if you're someone who's bought a Gemini, chances are now you're at 500 points.
Right.
Once you get to 500, you become a silver member.
Right.
Now, silver members automatically get 10% off all of the already on offer prices.
Hang on. So if I'm a silver member,
yes,
anything that I've shown today, whether it's something with 10% off or 15% off, you then get a further 10% off. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And do you know what? It'll probably confuse you because you'll be looking at the price on the screen thinking, John said it costs £15 for 2 tool tidies.
Yeah.
And you'll go to the website and it won't. It'll be £13.50.
Does it recognise? What? So it recognises you?
As soon as you come in, put your details in and log in, it'll say, hello, Sheila, your price is 30. So there you go. You're buying a Gemini builder block patchwork there. It's not going to be 99. Yours is only going to be 89. Or if you're a platinum member, like who said they were platinum, yours is going to show at £79.
Oh,
so if you're wondering, thinking, hang on, my price on the website doesn't, it's, how come I'm getting a bit cheaper than what John's saying on the telly? We're quoting the maximum price that a regular brand new person walking in off the street
so I'm talking as a brand new person.
As a brand new person, but you're a brand new person, you get 20% off your first order, so you're getting to try out the club as a platinum member, really. But then once you're into the club, you'll start and learn this. You look on the website, and the best thing is we allow everybody to double discount everything. So when we say there's a special offer, you buy the builder block and you get this free, your then club membership always applies on top of that. Wow. So if you're looking, but to get the free shipping over 20, you must make sure your finished price in your basket is 20.
So that's a good point. So if you're a silver or gold member or whatever, and it gives you a discount, so don't just buy something for £20 because it won't take you over the £20.
Yes, but there's always things for £1 or a couple of
kind of discount.
Even better. And once you get up to silver membership, all your orders are free shipping anyway. So honestly, it's the sort of club, when people understand our club, you can, do you know, like you said before, you work in the system.
Yes.
Our customers learn how to work the system. Trust me. We see it every day. People work in that system. But it's brilliant because once you understand and you really take advantage of it, trust me, you can really make the most of it.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I'm just going to rethread my bottom spool's run out. So I'm just going to refill my spool, John, and I'm going to stitch that last bit back in place.
Okay, I've got a quick message here. Oh, yes, there you go. I said, Crazy Lorraine says, I've made the bag with these tapestry fabrics really fabulous. I just told them that, Crazy Lorraine. Were you not listening? Right, so let's do... It's all right. No, don't worry. I'm not being horrible to Crazy Lorraine. She's a really good friend of mine. If you go to my website, there's a whole interview with her. Oh, and Chloe. You know Chloe, I said only started shopping here when I moved here. I've got an interview. Go to my website. And I've got interviews with lots of designers and everything like that. And when I was in Peterborough interviewing other designers, I got Chloe and Crazy Lorraine to come along, and we're sitting in a barn and we're chatting all about, and they've brought all the bags and things that they've made and everything like that. Oh, and by the way, thank you everybody I put a video out last week about if you want to come on and be an expert and things like that. Haven't had one from Chloe yet, and I thought Chloe wanted to do it. But anyway. What shall I do next? And these? Oh, build a block. Right. Here we go. Ooh. Right, so once you've got your Gemini machine, because the thing that Sarah says is we're not a machine company. Yes, we make the machines. They're all made by Crafters Companion. They're all made, right? And that's what that's the core thing that you need. But each week they develop, well, I don't know how new this is, but each week the development team are working on brand new blocks. I asked last week or the week before for a log cabin, didn't I? Asked for a log cabin. They're working on a log cabin one of these now. So you don't have to, and a log cabin, you see, it's a bit like a bargello. All you're doing is you're cutting out straight strips. And you just kind of think, oh, the machine will do it all for you. Put all your strips on the fabric, put it through the machine, 16 seconds later, you've got 8 blocks cut. Like that. It's going to be fantastic. So you need your Gemini machine. So you buy your builder block here. Now your builder block, you get all of these dies in there, right? You get your squares, you get your half square triangles, and you get your quarter square triangles, right? It's, I mean, we're just going to show you close up all the things you get in there. All the different size blocks as well that you need. You get 3-inch block, 4-inch block, 6-inch block, 8-inch block, 9-inch block, and a 12-inch block. So you can choose whichever pattern. Now in here, look at these, right? These are some of the designs that you can do just by using these, but they're adding to them all the time. A couple of weeks ago, we did a Christmas wreath one. That's now on the website as another design using build block. And I'll tell you a bit of a secret as well. Is it next week or the week after? I've got this beautiful, I've got beautiful fabrics every week, but I've got the strawberry, it's just so gorgeous. Bernie's designing, it's next week, right? Bernie's designing a block, right, that you can use your builder block to create a really gorgeous quilt block from the brand new fabric I've got. So it's not one that's on here, it'll be a brand new one that's on our website that Bernie's designing for you right now. So you buy this, you get this one completely and utterly for free. This on its own, if you bought this on its own, $69.99. So, right, okay, so everything that Sarah's just said to you, right, you're getting a free gift of $69.99. If you use the code, if you're a club member and you're up into silver or whatever, you then get money off that. You will then get a percentage off that, even though we've given you this for $69, that's worth $69.95. I know. It's brilliant. I don't really understand how it works, because if I was in charge, everything would be full price. That would be it. End of story. You might get a Christmas card if you're lucky. But anyway.
Noted. Let's hope they keep me in charge then, John, and not you.
I don't think there's any chance of that. Right. Right. The sunrise special I had this morning on... look, it's brilliant. I've got it here. It's still there. Right, now I need to explain this one to you, right? So those 3 pens cost $5.99. They are they're erasable pens, right? That you can put on fabric, and then what you do is they draw a line, and then you iron it, or you can use a hairdryer, and the lines will just disappear, right? You get 3 for $5.99 in a packet. 3 in a packet for $5.99. If you order 3 packets, so 9 pens in total, you only pay for 2 packets, right? What you have to do, though, is when you put them in your basket, it automatically doesn't put 3 in. You need to put 3 of these in your basket, but when you come to check out, one of them won't be charged for, one of them will be completely for free. So you're actually going to get, for today's Sunrise Special, you'll get 9 pens for £12 or for $18. That's what it is. Now, the thing is, gifts, I'm thinking of gifts now. I know. They are incredible, and these fly out of stock all the time. They just completely and utterly fly out of stock. So if you want these, pop them in your basket. Make sure you check out quite quickly. Right, Sarah, how you doing?
Well, I'm just squaring it off. And you know, last week I wished I had the rotating cutting mat. So I've brought my rotating cutting mat along from home today. So what I'm doing, John, is I'm just using this, save having to move it all the time. I'm literally just trimming those edges a tiny little bit, still leaving my 1/4 inch seam allowance so that I'll be able to stitch this onto the next one. But look how much easier it is to just square everything all off once I've got that rotating mat, because I'm literally able to rotate the whole project. Can you see? You just rotate part of the project and you're off onto the next one.
$24.99, that rotating cutting mat. Also, that ruler that Sarah's using, that we had that last week. It's on the website. Pop to the website and have a look. Now, look, I can't take... I've got a message from Lou, right? Been tempted by the builder block and Geminis for absolutely ages. Thanks to John for his discount, I've bought them. Thank you so very much. My pleasure. My pleasure. But, you know, I had to, well, my pleasure. My pleasure. I had to snog Sunny to get the discount. That's what I had to do. She's just fallen on. She's at a table in the office. She'll have just fallen off her chair now. I didn't really. But anyway, it's what we do, though. It's what we do here, isn't it? To just bring things like that for you. Right, start with rainbow. So in this one, you get 1/2 metre of green, 1/2 metre of azalea, 1/2 metre of peacock, 1/2 metre of berry. £20, 15% off. Now, I know, they're brilliant, aren't they? You can buy them by the 1/2 metre, but this way you get 15% off. Obviously, if you want more than 1/2 metre of each of them, you need to buy it via the website. But £20, that gorgeous half a rainbow bundle. Love those colours together. Righty-ho. Ocean, which is the favourite. Right, now, this is all, I told you not to hang around with this. Almost limited stock on this one now. So you get the petrol, the teal, the lichen, and the duck egg blue in that one. 1/2 metre. That is lovely, must admit, though. And let me just put that one there. There, that's better. £20. £20 for all. You get 1/2 metre of all 4 of those fabrics. I know. There you go. Then we've got sunrise. So you've got true red, pumpkin, sunshine, and grenadine in here. I think they're lovely. Those colours are gorgeous, aren't they? Do you know what? I'd also buy the rainbow. Look, now, I'm not telling you to, you see, buy both of these, right? Look. How gorgeous are they together? Anyway, they'd be £40 if you bought the two of them. Right, okay. And then last but not least, I've got essentials, in which you get the cream, the vanilla, the grey, and the indigo. Just good to have in your stash, aren't they? Just good to have at home. Rightio. Tapestry fabrics next. Right, I'm going in a different order this time because they're in the order that I'm thinking. Carnival, £5.99 for 1/2 metre, or if they're all attached, these. Oh, they're all still attached, I'm afraid. It does, because it's got a very open warp and weft, you will find that you've got frayability on there, but you'll be fine. It won't fray away to nothing. 2 1/2 metres for £10.50. Beautiful, that's Carnival. Then we've got, oh, I love this one. All the 1/2 square triangles and 1/4 square triangles in that one there. Gorgeous. Right, then we've got Tree of Life. Now, Tree of Life was our favourite from the beginning of the show. And is it still there? Oh, way in the lead, this one. Oh, actually, I've just noticed, look at the hills that the Tree of Lives are planted in, and that's energy. Look. Oh, I'll show you next, right? Look at, have a close-up look at where the trees are planted, right? Right, keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind now, because I'll then pick up the next fabric, which is called Energy. Look. This is, so imagine using both of those, using this as the border and the Tree of Life as the centre. Lovely. It's got lovely energy, lovely movement, that one. Then we've got your little llamas, which I adore. All the different colours you got in there. Look at that. You've got a lilac llama there. Oh, there's a green one looking straight at. Look at it. Look. He's ready to get, you know, like they go like this. They look at you, don't they? They go, spit at you like that. No spitting at the moment. No singing at the moment or anything, is there? Right. Little Aztec. Little Aztec. It's nice, and all the gorgeous tessellation of patterns in there. £5.99 for 1/2 metre. Any 2 1/2 metres for £10.50. I know. Right, then this. I quite like this one because it's kind of a. It's got lovely movement to it, hasn't it? And yet it's not got a distinct pattern, but it's got that just. Oh, I know. It looks like a Tissot, like a water. Do I mean Tissot? Who did water lilies? Is that Tissot? Monet, thank you, Monet. Monet, thank you. At least we've got one cultivated person in the gallery. And then we've got Lisbon, last but not least. That's nice, isn't it? You see, imagine a full drop curtain for your front door. You know, in winter, when the wind's howling through your front door and you've got a lovely big heavy curtain on a big wooden pole going across your front door, wouldn't that look beautiful? With the fire going. You know, when you go to Escape to the Country and they go straight from the front door into the front room, right? Imagine that on your front door. I know. Anyway, I wonder if you can make blinds out of it. I'm sure you must be able to make blinds out of it. £5.99 for half a metre, that one.